Out there in the cosmic dark, the silence isn't peaceful, it's indifferent. A single asteroid, wandering the void for 1 billion years, could end us, not with anger, not with purpose, simply by chance. This isn't speculation, it's certainty. Every breath you take is a gift from this world. Every step you've ever walked, grounded by its gravity. For 200,000 years, Earth has been our mother, our protector, our cradle. But the universe keeps no cradles forever. Earth's history is written in endings. 5 times life has been pushed to the edge. A 6th will come. The question isn't if, but when. Will we be those who clung to the cradle, who whispered comforts to each other as the darkness came? Or will we be the ones who chose to endure? We must plant life beyond this soil, not for conquest, for continuity, to ensure the story of consciousness does not end here. The cradle was perfect, it nurtured us. But to honor it, we must leave it. The stars are not calling us to visit. They are calling us to grow up. It will be the hardest thing we have ever done, and it will be the most worthy. When Yuri Gagarin's capsule left the Earth in 1961, humanity crossed an invisible line drawn since the dawn of time. For the first time, a human being was no longer beneath the sky. He was above it. Gagarin looked down and saw the entire horizon of Earth curve into a sphere. His first words as he gazed upon his home from space were simple. "I see Earth. It is so beautiful that beauty hid a terrifying truth. From orbit, the Earth looked fragile. Its atmosphere nothing more than a thin, glowing veil, delicate enough to be brushed away." Astronauts who followed Gagarin all described the same shock. From space, borders vanish, nations vanish, even continents blur into the same fragile world. And they realized, if anything ever happened to this pale sphere, there would be nowhere else to run. 8 years later, the moon felt the footsteps of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. Humanity had done something that, for all of history, was myth. Standing on another world. Armstrong's famous words, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," were not poetry. They were prophecy, because that leap showed that leaving Earth was not just possible, it was inevitable. But here's the curious part. Despite this triumph, humanity stopped. The last human left the moon in 1972, and no one has returned since. Half a century of silence. Why? The answer is both practical and haunting. Going to the moon was so difficult, so costly, that once the political race was won, the dream was put aside. Humanity had touched the stars, and then turned away. Yet those brief missions gave us more than footprints in the dust. They gave us perspective. For the first time, cameras captured the Earthrise, our blue planet rising above the gray, lifeless horizon of the moon. That single image may be one of the most important photographs in history. It sparked the environmental movement, inspired generations of scientists, and whispered a question that lingers still. If we can reach the moon, why not go further? Our solar system isn't a collection of shining new frontiers. It's an archipelago of hellholes. And our first stop, Mars, isn't a new home. Forget the hopeful manifestos. The red planet isn't a destination. It's a taunt, a cosmic lesson in humility. This world didn't just die, it was murdered. The suspect? Its own failed core. Billions of years ago, its magnetic field shut down, and the sun, like a vengeful god, reached out and stripped its atmosphere bare. What remains is a corpse, a freeze-dried, radiation-scoured wasteland where the very dirt is laced with perchlorates, a polite term for active poison. The dust, That fine, abrasive, radioactive powder that doesn't just coat your equipment, it invades it. It gets into seals, into joints, into the lungs of anyone foolish enough to step outside. And the gravity? A cruel 38% of Earth's. You could jump 3 times higher, sure, but your body will pay the price. We're talking muscle atrophy, fluid redistribution that gives you a permanent puffy face, and bones slowly turning to brittle chalk. A long-term stay on Mars isn't colonization. It's a slow-motion medical experiment with a very high mortality rate. This is the promised land that billionaires are selling. A fixer-upper where the foundation is toxic, the plumbing is non-existent, and the neighborhood watch is a sun that wants to cook you alive. Mars isn't waiting for us. It's just there. A silent, rusty monument to cosmic indifference. And going there isn't a noble journey. It's the ultimate act of human audacity, or stupidity. We're not going to conquer it. We're going to see if we can survive its contempt. But Mars is the easy option. It's the familiar hell. Let's talk about the outer islands in our archipelago. Take Europa, Jupiter's moon. It looks like a cracked egg from a distance. Scientists get giddy about its subsurface ocean. Potential for life, they chirp. What they don't say is that this ocean is buried under miles of ice harder than granite, bathed in the most intense radiation belt in the solar system. A human on the surface would be cooked alive in a day. To even glimpse that dark sea, we'd have to tunnel through a radioactive ice tomb, not knowing what, if anything, is staring back from the abyss. This isn't an expedition. It's a descent into madness. Then there's Titan, Saturn's moon. It has lakes, rivers, and a thick atmosphere. Sounds almost cozy, right? Wrong. Those lakes aren't water. They're liquid methane and ethane. It's negative 290 degrees Fahrenheit. The air is a poisonous, flammable smog. You wouldn't walk on Titan. You'd wade through freezing gasoline in a perpetual deep freeze twilight. It's less a world and more a chemical accident happening in slow motion. So why are we even considering this tour of cosmic torture chambers? Because that's what we do. It's a special kind of human insanity. We see a mountain and we have to climb it precisely because it might kill us. We see a frozen moon and we have to drill into it precisely because something might be down there. These aren't homes. They are the ultimate challenge. They are the brutal, unforgiving gymnasiums where humanity will either toughen up and evolve, or we will break. We won't conquer these worlds. We will endure them. We will adapt to them, or we will die in them, our bones slowly turning to dust under alien skies. This isn't a hopeful journey to the stars. It's a grim, gritty, and profoundly stupid gamble. And it might just be the most important thing we ever do. Let's be brutally honest. Everything we've talked about so far, Mars, Europa, Titan, that's just playing in the backyard. It's hard, but it's familiar. It's still within the gravitational reach of our sun, our parent star. The real test, the true measure of whether we're a civilization or just a flash in the pan, begins when we decide to leave home. Permanently. And the first thing you need to understand about interstellar travel is that it is, by every conceivable measure, insane. Every law of physics, every known limitation of biology, every shred of human psychology screams at us that this is a fool's errand. The nearest star, Proxima Centauri, is 4.24 light-years away. That's 25 trillion miles. Let that number dissolve in your mind for a second. It doesn't mean anything. It's too big. Here's what it means. With our current technology, a probe like Voyager would take over 70,000 years to get there. 70,000 years. Human civilization is only about 6,000 years old. You're talking about a journey that would swallow our entire history. 12 times over. So, we have to get clever. And by clever, I mean we have to flirt with technologies that sound like they're ripped from the pages of a comic book. Option 1. The generation ship. This is the most horrifyingly realistic option. You build a city inside a can, a self-sufficient ark. You point it at a star, accelerate to a fraction of light speed, and then you wait. The people who board this ship will never see their destination. Their children won't see it. Their children's children might not even see it. You are asking hundreds of people to be born, live, and die in a metal tube, all for a goal they will never witness. It's a psychological experiment on a millennial scale. What gods would they worship? What culture would they develop? Would they even remember why they're out there? Or would the mission degrade into myth and then into forgotten history? The ship itself would become the only universe they ever know. A flying tomb. Option 2. The sleeper ship, the sci-fi favorite. Put everyone in frozen sleep. Let the AI navigate. Simple, right? Except cryogenics is a polite word for we don't know how to freeze a complex organism without turning its cells into microscopic ice shrapnel. We can freeze a single cell. We can't freeze a human being, not yet. And even if we could, you're trusting a flawless, autonomous machine to run for centuries without a single critical error. One meteorite strike, one software glitch, one power fluctuation, and the entire mission becomes a frozen meat locker drifting forever in the void. Option 3. The Hail Mary. This is where the physicists get excited and the engineers get ulcers. We're talking about propulsion systems that are barely on the drawing board. Fusion ramjets. A ship that sucks in the thin hydrogen of interstellar space like a whale sucking in krill, fusing it into helium for thrust. It's elegant. It means you don't have to carry all your fuel. You just have to build a continuous, stable, contained star in the front of your ship. This isn't engineering. It's theology. It's an act of faith. We are talking about projects that would consume the entire economic output of our planet for generations, all for a one-way ticket to a place we can barely see. So why would we ever do it? Because the alternative is to accept that we are forever alone, that the entire magnificent, terrifying, and beautiful universe is for looking at, but never for touching. Interstellar travel isn't about practicality. It is the universe's ultimate test. And we have never been a species that knows how to fail a test quietly. Surviving the journey was one thing. The real question begins when the engines shut down, and you're staring out the viewport at your new home. Now you face one of two cosmic dilemmas. Neither has a good answer. The first dilemma: the blank slate of nothing. Your destination is a rock, a beautiful, terrifying, and utterly useless rock. It has no water, no atmosphere, no magnetic field to shield you from the stellar radiation that will slowly cook you from the inside out. It is a dead end. So, do you leave? Or do you try to build a heaven from this hell? This is where humanity shifts from explorer to deity. You must become a world maker. Water. You chase comets. You find ice-rich asteroids in the system's outer belt, and you nudge them. You calculate trajectories with godlike precision, and you guide them on a million-year journey into a collision course with your new world. You bombard the planet, again and again, in a calculated shower of celestial artillery, until the impacts release enough steam to form puddles, then lakes, then oceans. You are playing pool with planets. Air. You build atmospheric processors, continent-sized factories that work for centuries. They bake the toxic minerals in the soil, forcing them to release their trapped gases. You redirect more icy comets, because water is oxygen and hydrogen. You seed the newborn atmosphere with genetically engineered algae, designed to thrive in the poison and exhale breathable air as a waste product. You are trying to fill an ocean with a single eyedropper, and you will not live to see the job done. The shield. The magnetic field is the hardest part. You can't restart a planet's core. So you build an artificial one. A superconducting loop, 100 kilometers across, placed at the Lagrange point between the planet and its sun. It generates a magnetic bubble, a fragile technological cocoon that deflects solar winds. It is the most massive, most powerful, most fragile machine ever conceived. It requires constant energy, constant maintenance. It is a life support system for an entire world. This path is the ultimate gamble. It is a project that spans millennia. It demands a tyranny of purpose no human society has ever sustained. You are asking generations to live and die in the harsh light of a foreign sun, toiling for a future they will never see, all for the dream of a world that might never truly be born. The second dilemma: the garden already has a gardener. The second scenario is far more likely and infinitely more terrifying. You find a world that is acceptable. It has liquid water, a thick atmosphere, temperatures within a range you could survive, and it is already alive. This is the nightmare every scientist whispers about. You are not the discoverer. You are the intruder. The microbial apocalypse. The first life you find might be microscopic, and to them, you are the alien plague. Your gut bacteria, the microbes on your skin, a single common cold virus. They could be weapons of mass destruction on a biosphere that has no defenses. You could become the agent of an accidental xenocide, wiping out a universe's worth of unique biology because you tracked a speck of Earth dirt on your boot. Your mere presence is an extinction-level event. The complex problem. Or the life is complex. It fills the oceans and skies. It is clearly, undeniably intelligent. Now what? Do you follow a prime directive? Do you hide, observe, and never interfere, condemning your people to live in enclosed habitats, forever separated from the open air by a pane of glass? Or do you make contact? And how do you introduce yourself? As neighbors? As gods? As conquerors? There is no protocol for this. There is only the terrible weight of the decision. There is no universe where we arrive on an inhabited world as equals. We will either be their destroyers, their pathogens, their deities, or their slaves. There is no middle ground. This is the final crushing paradox of our journey. To survive, we must either perform a miracle of creation on a dead world, a task that may break our spirit, or we must become the villains in someone else's story on a living one. The cosmos does not care about our morality. It only presents us with choices, and every single one of them will cost us our humanity. Every horizon we have ever faced has been an invitation. The edge of the ocean, the edge of the atmosphere, the edge of the solar system. Each time, humanity looked out, felt fear, and stepped forward anyway. Each step revealed not an end, but another beginning. But in the cosmos, there is a horizon we cannot simply cross with rockets or courage. A horizon woven into the very fabric of space and time. Beyond it lies not just mystery, but the unknowable. The universe itself carries an edge, the cosmic horizon. Beyond it, light has not had time to reach us since the birth of creation. We know it exists, we feel its presence, but we cannot see what lies past it. Are there galaxies like ours? Are there other versions of reality, governed by laws we cannot imagine? The ultimate horizon is not a wall, but a veil, and behind it could lie infinite wonders or infinite silence. And perhaps the greatest horizon is not in the sky at all. Perhaps it is within us. Our minds evolved to hunt, to build, to survive a single planet. Yet here we are, daring to imagine galaxies, multiverses, eternities. The limits of our imagination may be the true edge of the universe. If so, every discovery we make pushes that edge a little further away. We may never know what lies beyond the ultimate horizon, but maybe that is not the point. The point is to keep moving, to keep asking, to keep reaching, to let curiosity guide us into the dark, knowing the dark may never end. Because in the end, The edge of the universe is not where the stars fade into silence. It is where human courage dares to follow them. And if you want to keep following that journey with me, beyond horizons, into mysteries no map can contain, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's keep pushing the frontier of curiosity together, one story at a time.